Two of my favorite pieces of gear that have come out so far in 2024 are the Friedman IRJ Tube preamp pedal and the Fractal VP4 Multi-Effects virtual pedal board. I want to do a video showcasing a couple of different ways that I've been using these units together. This is also going to double up as a 4-cable method tutorial for the VP4. So we'll start by talking about the VP4. In the instruction manual and in the software editor, there is a detailed diagram showing you how to hook this up in 4-cable methods so that you can place any number of effects blocks before your amp or preamp pedal and any of the blocks after the preamp pedal or after the main gain stages anyway. The advantage here being that I could put a drive pedal in front of the IRJ to boost it, but I could have a delay in the effects loop post gain. If you want to engage that though, you've got to hit the enter and exit button together and then page across until you get to this little menu here. You want to have 4-cable method routing enabled. Once you've got that on the unit, if you're using the onboard interface here, you can actually see where the 4-cable method insert is placed. So I have a wah and a drive before the IRJ, and I've got the delay and reverb in the effects loop or post preamp of the IRJ. So basically, the easiest way to do this is thinking of it as 4 individual effects on here. You can just turn on and off with the buttons, and then you can change channels and engage the boost with the IRJ. This is a sort of what you see is what you get set up. Let's start on the cleanish channel of the IRJ, and I'll just kick a couple of effects in. Sounding pretty good so far. Like I said earlier, you can place any of these blocks pre or post in this 4-cable method setup. If you have a MIDI connection on here though, you can take this a little bit further where changing presets on the VP4 can send a program change number to the IRJ. And if you set up the IRJ with the software editor, you can set up each program, so basically corresponding to each MIDI program number, to have the channel, the boost, the IR, and the presence and depth, or I think they call it thump control, set to whatever you like. So you can save 128 different presets in the IRJ and sync them up with the program numbers on the VP4. I'll give you an example of that. So we're going to go to effects mode now, and I'm going to go and select this 4-cable method clean preset. So what's going to happen here is I've just got a compressor and a reverb. The compressor is placed before the IRJ, the reverb is in the loop. Then I'm going to go to this next preset in this bank on the VP4, and it's going to change channels on the IRJ, as well as changing the effects presets on the VP4. This is pretty great. On those last two patches, I was utilizing the built-in boost of the IRJ to give me a variation of each of the two channels in there. So having 4 different presets, and I could change the effects up a lot more than I did there, but just for the sake of simplicity, that's what I use. I've got those 4 presets and I'm triggering 4 different sounds from the IRJ. So it can all work together with just a single MIDI cable connecting them. Another fun idea in 4-cable method with the IRJ is to use the gain channel and really change the character of it by boosting the preamp with a drive. I've got the precision drive on here, and then using the 5-band Mark Series EQ to scoop everything out after the preamp on there. So let's have a listen to what this does. I'll switch over to channel 2 on the IRJ, then I'll kick in the boost and then scoop it with the graphic. Hopefully that gives you some ideas for not just using these 2 units together, but for using the VP4 in 4-cable method. Let me know which effects you'd place pre and post in the setup in the comments section below. Before we go though, if you didn't want to run 4-cable method, you could plug straight into the IRJ, come out of there into the VP4, and then use the VP4 for stereo post effects, like a rack shrunk down in size. I'm using a factory preset that I made called LT Effects Post, and what I'm going to do here is just run through the 4 scenes on here so I can combine different combinations of effects and also have different effects channels on here. I am going to use channel 2 on the IRJ boosted for a big dirty lead sound. We'll start off with this multi-tap delay and reverb, and then we'll move through the gears. Like this setup because the IRJ essentially has a tube screamer built in as the boost. So you can set up your core sound on channel 1 and channel 2. You can kick in the boost on each channel as your kind of pre-effect on there. And then you can play with all the greasy wet effects in post on there. Hopefully that showcases how powerful a small setup like this can be, and also gives you some ideas for your own VP4 or IRJ rigs. Let me know if you're using these 2 together in the comments section below. And if you like what I'm doing here on the channel, there are some links to my Patreon, some blocks and presets that you can buy on my Gumroad, and the music that I make with my band Ragdoll. I would love it if you took the time to check it out. Otherwise, thanks for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you next time.